Welcome students. We are going to study about the module Role of Microorganisms in Decomposition of Plant Residues. In this module, we are going to study the composition of plant residues. We are going to study the microorganism associated with decomposition of organic matter. We are going to see the various factors affecting this microbial decomposition. And we are going to study the organic matter dynamics in the soil. So at the end of this module, you all will be able to explain the composition of plant residue. You all will be able to cite examples of microorganisms associated with organic matter decomposition. You all will be able to list the factors affecting organic matter decomposition, and you all will be able to describe the organic matter dynamics in the soil. Now, role of microorganisms in decomposition of plant residues. Now, we have seen that in the soil we have different groups of microorganisms. We have the bacteria, we have the fungi, we have the actinomyces, nematodes, protozoas, then the algae and viruses present in the soil. So among these, there are various microorganisms which help to decompose plant residues. Now these plant residues can be in the form of twigs, leaves, fallen fruits, fallen stem. Okay, so this is a picture which shows soil. This is a plant and this is the plant residues which remain in the soil. So these residues, they get decomposed and in turn the soil gets filled with nutrients. Now plant residue is a source of organic chemical carry of nutrients. Now the rate of decomposition depends on the structural components present in the soil. It depends on the soil, it depends on the composition, it depends on the microorganisms present in it. All biosynthetically formed compounds are easily degradable under aerobic conditions. Decomposition of most dead plant matter occurs in the soil. That is why we are very thankful to microorganisms, because all the plant residue, all the animal residue is being decomposed and it's being recycled. Now for every compound, there exists one or more microorganisms that has the ability to degrade it completely or partially. In soil, microbes colonize organic matter and decompose it. So they basically colonize the organic matter and they decompose it. Now organic soil components consist partly of the incompletely decomposed plant residue and partly of the humus. Now let us see the composition of plant residues. Now these plant residues have different composition and each of the microorganisms will feed on certain material. So we have the cellulose. Now this cellulose is the basic component of plant material and it is present in abundance in the plant. Now to degrade cellulose we need the enzyme cellulase, which is produced by the microorganism. Next is the hemicellulose. They are simple sugars bound together to form large molecule, that is the xylane. Okay, and it is the second most abundant component in the plant, and this is degraded by the xylanase enzyme. Next is the starch. Starch is a predominant storage material and this starch is degraded by the amylase. Then we have the fructans. Okay, now these fructans are present in some plant families. And next is the pectin. It is found in the intercellular substance. It is found as an intercellular substance in tissues of young plants. It is very abundant in berries and fruits. Then we have the lignin, which is predominantly present in woody species. Now this lignin is a compound which is degraded last. It is very difficult. It takes time to degrade this lignin. Then we have the water soluble compounds, like we have the simple sugars, amino acids, aliphatic acids, which are soluble in water. Then we have the ether and alcohol soluble components like the fats, oils, waxes, resins and pigments. We also have proteins which are degraded by proteases. Now let us see the microorganisms associated with this organic matter decomposition. As I told you all, each component will be degraded by certain microorganisms. Now we have the cellulose decomposers. Example of cellulose decomposers, we have the fungi like the Alternaria species, the Aspergillus fumigators. Then we have the bacteria such as Bacillus species, Pseudomonas fluorescens, and we have the actinomycetes like Nocardia species and the Streptomyces species, which feed on the cellulose component, that is they degrade the cellulose part of the plant residue. Then we have the hemicellulose decomposers like the fungi, Alternaria species, Aspergillus species. We have the bacterial species such as Bacillus species, Pseudomonas species. We have the Streptomyces such as Streptomyces species, which degrade the hemicellulose component of the plant residue. Then we have the protein degraders. One example is bacteria, that is Bacillus cereus. Then we have the starch degraders. We have the fungi such as Aspergillus oryzae and bacteria such as Bacillus mesarens, which decompose the starch component. We have fructan decomposers such as the fungi Aspergillus niger, which decompose the fructan component of the plant residue. Then we have the pectin degraders, fungi such as Aspergillus niger, bacteria such as Bacillus mesarens. Then we have the lignin decomposers like the fungi such as Agaricus species, Polysticus versicolor. We have the bacterial species such as Micrococcus species, Xanthomonas species, which feed on lignin. Now, what are the factors which affect organic matter decomposition? That is the litter quality, that is the structural and chemical components of the litter. Then we have the temperature. Then we have the aeration, that is the soil porosity, the oxygen availability, the aerobic flora, which affect the organic matter decomposition. We have the soil pH, we have the inorganic chemicals and the moisture. If there is more moisture, there is better decomposition. Then organic matter dynamics in the soil. Now this decomposition follows the pattern of succession, that is events of sequential appearance of microbes on a substrate with respect to time. That is, we have the primary colonizers and the secondary colonizers. Primary colonizers are the one which colonize at the initial stage. So they will feed on the matter and they will be followed by the secondary colonizers. Then the water soluble components are always metabolized first, that is the cellulose, hemicellulose disappear first, and lignin are very difficult to decompose, therefore they disappear at the last stage. Then we have the humus left, which is the uniform dark colored amorphous mass containing materials that are not easily attacked by the microbes. So students, in this module you all have learned that soil microbes play a crucial role in decomposing plant residue in the soil. Various groups of microorganisms act on specific components of the residues to bring about decomposition. These are the references, these are the additional references. Thank you.